Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and like a bat out of hell, the new Penguin trailer has dropped, giving us our first look at the upcoming HBO Max show. Throughout this video, we're going to be talking about all the Easter eggs, comic book callbacks, and also the characters in it who could be making a big entrance. This series is pulling heavily from The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, and also Penguin, Pain and Prejudice. Because we're going to be talking about those books, there will be some spoilers for what happens in them, so if you don't want things ruined, then I'll recommend that you turn off now. If you enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe for breakdowns on the show when it releases. With out of the way, a huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into the trailer.
This is one of those moments when you gotta ask yourself, what kind of life do I want?
Now we begin with shots from the ending of The Batman, and get a wide shot of Gotham in the aftermath of the Riddler's attack. That film saw him blowing up the seawall which flooded parts of the city, leading to a no man's land type of aesthetic. In case you haven't read that run, it basically centered around Gotham being rocked by a gigantic earthquake during the story Cataclysm. In the aftermath of it, gangs ran riot in the city, turning it into a sort of escape from New York thing. Nolan sort of did something similar in The Dark Knight Rises after Bane blew up all the bridges, and at this point Gotham's very much on its last legs. Along with major parts of it being flooded, we also have the death of Falcone, which has created a power vacuum in the city. We get shots of City Hall with the dogs swimming along before we cut to Oswald looking out of Falcone's window in the sub-level of the Iceberg Lounge. I think this was located even lower than the 44 Below Club, and it's where the gangster lived away from the limelight whilst he accumulated billions from the renewal fund. Oswald standing in his window was a very symbolic way to end the movie, and it showed that he was after everything that the character owned and ruled over. Now we cut to some production shots, and I think this is the same room which Penguin's now potentially living out of. We then see a black Maserati pulling up, and this has likely been picked due to its symbol being a trident. Gotham is of course flooded, and with a penguin being an aquatic bird, we have this idea now stretching beyond just the Iceberg Lounge puns. Now speaking of the Iceberg Lounge, we then cut to the outside of it with Penguin hobbling along. I think it's great that Colin does his affected walk throughout the trailer, and it of course gives him a waddle similar to his namesake.
Penguin. Penguin.
The Iceberg Lounge sign is also busted up, and we did see in the montage at the end of the Batman movie that this was too damaged by the flooding. He's still working away from it though, and using this as a base to build his empire out of.
The world ain't built for guys like us. That's why we gotta take whatever we decide is ours. It's Carmine Falcone's right hand. Try to push me out. Whoa, hey! You ain't seen what I can do.
Anyway, we next see what I think is a FEMA truck being escorted through the streets of Gotham. In the next shot, we can catch Penguin in his car, and this is in the rearview window all parked up. Later on, we see him exiting out the back of the truck with FEMA written on the doors, kinda why I'm drawing the conclusions here. FEMA is an insurance company, and it stands for Federal Emergency Management Agency. With Gotham being racked by floods, I'm guessing that these have been called in to help, but the gangsters might be using them as a way to profit. I think the earlier shots are Penguin possibly looking at the truck and then scoping it out to put things in place to steal it. We probably see the other side of this later on, and it's possible that Michael Kelly's character walks in right after they've taken it. Now though we don't know this for definite, there are rumours that Kelly will actually be playing Falcone's consigliere called Milos Grappa. This was a character that popped up in The Long Halloween as well, and he was then later changed up to become Falcone's bodyguard. Here though, they've gone back to his roots, and Kelly has of course already starred in Man of Steel, making this a DC alumni appearance. We then see Penguin getting held down, and over the top we can hear Kelly saying that he was Carmine's right hand and that they pushed him out. Penguin was Falcone's right hand man in the Batman movie, and potentially Grappa's making a play for dominance. He may be trying to get revenge on Penguin, who was probably the reason that he got kicked out in the first place. Now next we see Shorag at Ashlew, who for now remains an unnamed character. It is possible that this is Carla Vitti, who also featured in The Long Halloween. She was actually the sister of Carmine, and we meet another family member not too long after. In a restaurant, we're introduced to another woman, and this is Kristen Milioti, who's playing Sophia Falcone. She's a big character in the comics, like gigantic, and she was introduced in The Long Halloween after she was released from prison. Brought in to help her father seize power in Gotham, the end of the book saw her getting a broken neck and being paralyzed from the head down. Now, Dark Victory had a mysterious killer known as the Hangman going around murdering people, and though Sophia appeared in a wheelchair throughout the story, this was all an act. It was revealed that she was actually just feigning paralysis, and at the end of the book we learned she was the one carrying out the crimes. She's obviously looking to take over her father's empire, and we see her and Penguin doing a cheers with one another to cement their union. Sophia very much represents the daughter that Falcone accepted, and as we know from the first Batman movie, Selina's the daughter he didn't know about. This could create a pretty cool rivalry with them down the line, and in the comics it was actually Catwoman that seemingly broke Sophia's neck.
If you step out of line, even once, I'll gut you like a goddamn fish. Can you imagine? The people saying my name on the streets after you're gone. Have it mean something? The new kingpin of Gotham.
Now from here we cut to what looks like a homeless area in Gotham. Around a fire we can catch two characters, with the one on the right being Penguin and the one on the left being Renzi Feliz. This is someone who pops up throughout the teaser, and Penguin very much takes him under his wing, pun intended. As we've been talking about, the gangsters all have their right-hand men, and this is clearly Penguin scoping this guy out. We see the pair in the next shot loading a body into a car, and over the top of this here Penguin telling him that he'll gut him like a fish if he steps out of line. We see Penguin waddling to a train with him as well, and on a sign we can see this is Dylan Ave. Dylan Ave pulls from the comics, and in the Gotham Knight game, you can actually find a Batarang collectible there as well. And we then see Penguin meeting with Carmen as Jojo, and this could be Carla instead of the other character before. She does have blonde hair, which makes her look similar to how she does in the comics, and therefore I'm thinking that it might actually be her. The woman we see before might actually be connected to the Maronis, and this is why she's got Penguin held down instead of siding with him like the Falcones do. Now, Carmen also seems like she's making an alliance with Penguin, and he may be rounding up the Falcone family in order to make the best power play. Now, in addition to this, we know that both Maroni and Alberto Falcone will be appearing in the show too. The former will be played by Clancy Brown, and no doubt he's going to want revenge for the drops bus being pinned on him in the first film. This was seen as the biggest drug seizure in Gotham, and it led to him going to prison for over 20 years. Since then it's been exposed, though, that he was in fact innocent, and thus he's likely been set free. Now, Maroni is a big character in the comics, and during Dark Victory he made a major power play too. He was also the character that threw acid in Harvey Dent's face, and we may potentially see the DA introduced in this series. Now, as for Alberto, he was revealed to be the holiday killer in The Long Halloween. He actually faked his own death so that he could continue his killings, and we may see something similar happening in this series. Anyway, we close out with Penguin killing someone and then laughing away. Colin has really perfected this character, and he's nailed the mannerisms like this, bringing him to life. Calling himself the new kingpin of Gotham, we close out on a chilling shot of his face and can see him scheming away. And that wraps up the trailer, and I think it looks incredible, and when you compare this to some of the other comic book shows we've had recently, this is head and shoulders above it. The tone and atmosphere are breathtaking, and it looks like a Sopranos/Godfather 2 sort of show that's really going to build the Penguin up as being a terrifying villain. I am wondering if Batman will cameo in this, and potentially we may see Robert Pattinson in one form or another. During No Man's Land, Wayne Enterprises helped to fix Gotham, and they may intervene with a flooding crisis. This appearing on the news or something would be a cool way to keep it connected to the world, though I'd love to see the Dark Knight appearing in this series once Penguin's got more powerful. You kinda need that cameo, I think, and we do know that this is happening 1 week after the events of the movie, so it makes sense for Batman to still be prominent in Gotham. Either way, I really can't wait to watch it, and obviously let me know your thoughts below and what you think the show is going to be like. We are running a competition right now, giving away the Superman 4K box set to 3 subscribers on the 15th of April, and all you have to do to be with the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the trailer. We pick comments at random at the end of the month, and the winners of the last one are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at HeavySpoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of the Marvels trailer, which will be linked on screen on the box right there. If not, you want something more DC, we've got the Blue Beetle one as well, so definitely head over there right after this. By the way, thanks for sitting through the video, I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. You take care. Peace.